Yeah, peace. What's up, everybody? I want to make another video. And today's message is a little bit controversial, but I think this message has to be given. Women, black women, stop having abortions. You are committing genocide. You are committing murder. Even though the government told you it's cool to exterminate your race, you know, even though you don't go to jail for partaking in abortions, you will be judged as devils, as evil, wicked devils, for murdering millions of unborn babies, preventing them from enjoying this world. The black woman has been brainwashed into believing that there is not enough earth, there is not enough room for their children, there is not enough money for their children. There is not enough air and water and resources to have children. They don't have enough money. So therefore, in order for them to actually take care of their own individual self and to enjoy the clubs and the parties and to enjoy working for their slave masters, they justify murdering the children. And the government, the Democrats and the government, the black church, the so-called black elites, the black Greeks, they are encouraging the so-called undesirables, blacks, the Negro Project by Du Bois and Margaret Sanger, who did the eugenics against blacks in the early 1930s up until right now, who started Planned Parenthood. They wanted to exterminate the undesirables. And the Negro so-called elites wanted to participate in that and encourage the black woman. And this was the black Greeks, the Masons, and the black church. When have you ever heard the church discourage abortions? When have you even heard the Nation of Islam, the modern Nation of Islam, because Elijah Muhammad wrote in this book, Message to the Black Man, warning against the abortion genocide plan. But when have you ever heard Farrakhan telling black women not to get abortions? They're wicked. See, Masonry is satanic witchcraft. You know, they are sacrificing human beings in order for them to actually receive blessings from their oppressors. And they think they see these blessings as money, prestige, and opportunities. They don't have the courage, they don't have the fortitude, the intestinal fortitude to provide their own opportunities. They don't have the courage to start their own business, to persevere. These black women don't have the courage to raise children. They don't have the courage to get married to one man and build a family and build an empire. They want to be a single mother with one child, struggling. They just want to struggle. They think the only reality for them is to be a struggling single mother. After they had 5 or 6 abortions, they saved the one child who probably was a daughter, and they went around with this one child in an empty, ran down community with no children in the schools because all the black women that had abortions. And they think they're winning. But you will be judged as devils. Because devils, the lowest beasts, I don't think the lowest beast, the lowest animal, doesn't even kill their own children. You are acting like Satan, you know. But stop doing these abortions. There's enough resources on this planet. There's enough assistance. You know, if you don't have the money to take care of your child and your family don't want to help you, if the government don't want to help you, somebody will help you. It's better than just throwing the children into the garbage or just throwing them into, really, one of the main objectives for the abortions, the Caucasian scientists are using dead fetuses for scientific research to help heal. They use the stem cells to heal wrinkly, old, decrepit white people. Like the guy McConley, who said 2,000 is too much money. This wrinkly old devil is using fetal tissue, stem cells to stay alive. They use the skin from the foreskin that they receive from circumcisions. They use this in skin cream for these old wrinkly old hags so they could try to look young. They are sacrificing these children for the old decrepit devil white people, and also the blacks too. But they done brainwashed the black women into believing that there's nothing for them. But at the same time, they are giving illegal criminal children who crossed over to America, they're giving them 4-star hotels, giving them houses, giving them guaranteed work, work guarantees, calling them dreamers. While the black children has to be destroyed, has to be exterminated. And you justify this and saying it's not a crime, but it should be a crime. The doctors who perform these abortions should be going to maximum security prisons and putting on death row for genocide, crimes against humanity. But that's the first part of this discussion. Black women need to stop getting abortions, and they need to populate, because we was commanded by the Most High to be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. But you are working to reduce your own self. Let me finish on this. Black women hate themselves because they associate their skin with having less value. They believe the lighter the skin, the more valuable a person is, and the darker the skin, the less valuable. So if they have the dark skin, the child has the dark skin, the black woman would hate that child, and they would put that child up. Or they would just exterminate the babies if they had the child with a black person, right? Many black women that I know personally, they believe fighting white supremacy. They believe in fighting white supremacy by having mixed children. And by having these mixed children, the child will have dual allegiances, and they'll be less likely to perpetuate racism. But for one, it's not enough for you to have babies with every Caucasian. Your plan is your logic is flawed. And for two, your child is going to gravitate to whatever they look like, and they'll just hide the fact that they black or hide the fact that they're Caucasian. It won't work. That's a coward way to fight anything, by blending with the enemy, dancing with the enemy, breeding with the enemy. You're going to defeat the enemy. It's not going to happen. It's ridiculous. It hasn't worked. We done exterminated millions and 40 million children from the population. We have all these Caucasians and Mexicans running around America who's not really contributing anything to the culture, really. Just consuming. So you done wiped out a people who could have contributed to the world because you deemed them not being, what do you say? You don't think they're worthy enough to live. They have nothing to contribute because of your philosophy that was brainwashed into you. So you partake in exterminating them with the abortions. You don't get married. You don't even believe in marriage. You are running around like a harlot, a skis, a nasty skis. And you gotta stop this. But these black men, I'm not saying all the black men, but usually, even if they're not doing violent crimes, they're doing financial crimes. They're always scheming up on something, deceiving something to get money. They robbing to get money, perpetuating wickedness to get money. They got these pyramid schemes. They got these hustles, these revolutionary hustles, these white supremacist schemes. Y'all need to stop this. You are looking really bad. For one, you don't have any morality because you're not telling the black women to not get these abortions. You're not building any communities. You're running around talking about the continent, running to Africa. You're running everywhere, but you're not really doing nothing. You're just chasing dollars with the Caucasians' faces on them. You are a coward. You are letting your communities and your families be destroyed running around talking about you are gods or you worshiping Jesus or you're Israelites and all of this nonsense, talking about what the Lord is gonna do. You gonna do? What are you gonna do? Every time I listen to the radio, they got these blacks out here carjacking people. You out here looting into these Caucasian stores, Gucci, Louis Vuitton. It's cloth, leather. You could make your own leather. If you want to make leather, invest in cows. Learn how to tan the cow hide and make your own leather. Make your own clothes. You know, get sewing machines and embroidery machines. They got looms. Make your own designs. Why would you risk your freedom to steal a Caucasian's design that they probably just stole from a black person anyway? Stop all this stealing and this killing and this murder, robbery, all of these crimes, because all of you doing, you are feeding into the plan of the wicked Caucasian society system, prison system, because you have been deemed the designated prisoner. Your whole mindset has been socially engineered to get you to do exactly what you're doing so they could be justified in throwing you in prison forever. The Joe Biden, the Bill Clinton, the Barack Obamas who passed these laws to throw you in jail forever for doing exactly what they done engineered you to do with their music culture, with their poverty they induced. Learn how to not have nothing. You really don't need anything, but you don't need much, but you think you need thousands of dollars, cracking credit cards. I'm tired of these scams because all you doing is going to jail. You're not winning. You could do it. They let you do it for so long until they decide, okay, it's time. Let's go get them. Throw you in prison. You threw your whole life away chasing some dollars with a Thomas Jefferson on them, with Andrew Jackson, George Benjamin Franklin face on some pieces of paper that you deem as valuable. Well, you could create your own system of value, your own money, your own government. But you don't want to do that because you have been brainwashed, you have been socialized, engineered. You have been socially engineered. And I'm going to bring both of these thoughts together. What I talked about earlier as far as how in China, the government of China, the Communist Party, did not allow the wicked Caucasians to exploit their culture and their people. They said, if you want to take advantage of our economy, you want to tap into our 1.5 billion consumer base, you're going to have to give something. You're going to have to give us 51% of the money, and you got to give us the intellectual property. But with black people, black men and women, you don't require nothing for allowing your people to be exploited. You went and voted for Joe Biden, who promised you nothing. He promised to give 11 million illegal immigrant citizenship. He didn't promise you nothing. They are exploiting your communities. They are getting your votes, and you don't require nothing. You are the disgrace of the world. You are a laughing stock to the entire world. If you have something that a person wants, why would you get that to them for free, especially if you know that they're the enemy? You know that they put you in slavery. You know they bombed your churches. You know they put you on trees, hung and lynched you, burnt you alive, raped you, tortured you, redlined you, prevented you from getting business loans, prevented you from getting education, prevented you from excelling, prevented you from having freedom. And you allow these people who want your vote, who need your consumer money, they need you to be a consumer to their products, but you don't require them to give you anything. You are a disgrace. You are a total disgrace. You are divided, scattered. Preachers don't tell you not to get abortions. Preacher actually tell you to vote. A big nasty looking preacher who sold his soul, a Mason satanic preacher, is telling you to vote because he got something out of it. But he didn't advocate for you. Obama didn't advocate for you. Biden didn't advocate for you. They advocate for illegals and everybody else. They know that you have no standards, you have no dignity, you have no your desires are so low. You just happy enough to be seen. Take a picture with him. If he smiled at you, you think God done smiled at you. And that's all that you require. And this is why we're losing right now. Because you silly, stupid, money chasing, weak-minded, low moral, low standard black people who don't require much from yourself. You don't require nothing from the people who exploit you, who use you. You don't require anything from your own family, your community, nothing. You just satisfied with being the bottom of everything, which is not even natural, because we're not the bottom. We're really the top. But you act as though you're the bottom. And another thing I want to talk about, I just remembered, this is the last topic. Stop practicing homosexuality. This is a genocide scam. Nobody is born gay. Nobody is born a homosexual. It's just like nobody is born a criminal. Nobody is born a particular religion. This is a philosophy and a practice that has to be influenced and learned. A child is not going to know nothing about nothing unless that child is taught, either by observation or by instruction. You have been instructed to be a homosexual through influence. The greatest form of power is influence. When you're looking on TV, watching these homosexual cartoons, you watching Sesame Street with these homosexuals, you watching SpongeBob, you watching Britney Spears kissing on Madonna, you watching who else? Queen Latifah. It's like you're being shown, they call it behavior, and you are being influenced by this behavior, and you think that you was already thinking this, you was already feeling or acting or desiring this, but it's really you was just shown this and encouraged to do this by the media and by society. You are being, and a preacher is not telling you not to be a homosexual, not to partake, not to practice, because it's a practice. You are what you do. You know, you can't just, and then you do. You can't just be a homosexual. You gotta do the practice. You have to. It's a culture involved with that. It's a mentality that you have to embrace. If you don't, you just a human being, and you got a particular biological makeup. He's a male or female, and you just got a blank slate on whatever your mind and your path is going to be, and it's really up in the air. But you can be molded, and if you're not taught that something is wicked, if it's not a taboo, if it's something that's not corrected, if it's something that's rewarded in you will partake in that. And then when you partake in that, you're going to help to reduce the population. You're not going to have the children. You're going to be weak. You're going to be destabilized. You're going to be immoral. You're going to be an abomination. You're going to be setting yourself up for sure destruction, because 2 dudes cannot have children and 2 women cannot have children, and the main objective of humanity is to procreate, and you are preventing yourself from procreating. And then they want them to actually do a surgery, and once they do that surgery, it's over. You might as well just hang it up. It's over. You've been neutralized. You've been destroyed. But stop committing abortions. Stop doing dirt. Stop doing crime. And stop partaking in homosexuality. Stop practicing homosexuality. And that's about it.